I want to talk to you about something truly profound today. It's a concept that can change your life, your perspective, and your future. We're going to explore how understanding the power of your mind and harnessing the energy of the universe can help you manifest your deepest desires. Many of us are used to chasing our dreams, relentlessly pursuing what we want. But what if I told you there's a different, more powerful way? It involves not chasing, but attracting everything you desire. The key lies in understanding the principle of energy and vibration. Everything around us, even our thoughts and emotions, emits a certain frequency. It's this frequency that acts as a magnet, drawing in experiences and circumstances that resonate with it. To attract what you desire, you must align your energy with the frequency of what you want. It's about cultivating a state of being that mirrors the reality you wish to create. Instead of focusing solely on the external world, it's about turning your attention inward and reshaping your internal landscape. Now, let me break it down for you. The power of intention is at the core of this process. Your intention is not just a wish, it's a potent force that propels you towards your desired destination. It serves as a guiding light, illuminating the path to a specific outcome. When you set a clear intention, you infuse it with purpose and direction, enabling it to carve a distinct trajectory in the universe. By immersing yourself in the intricate details of what you truly desire, you activate a profound process of manifestation. Each detail, each vivid image you hold in your mind acts as a piece of a larger puzzle, contributing to the coherent picture of your desired reality. As you focus on these details, you begin emitting a coherent frequency that resonates with the essence of your intention, creating a harmonious resonance between your inner world and the external universe. But intention alone isn't enough. While setting a clear intention is the initial step, it must be accompanied by a genuine emotional investment. It's about more than just visualizing your desired reality. It's about feeling it with every fiber of your being. When you allow yourself to truly feel the emotions of having already accomplished your aspirations, you send a powerful signal to every cell in your body. You signal your body to believe that you are living in that desired reality right now. This emotional alignment creates a profound shift within you, aligning your energetic frequency with the very experiences you wish to attract. It's like tuning into a specific radio frequency. When you attune yourself to the station of your desired reality, you become a vibrational match to the experiences and opportunities that align with your emotional state. By fostering this intimate connection between intention and emotion, you open the floodgates for the universe to bring forth the very manifestations that resonate with the energy you've cultivated. Remember, the key to this transformative process is to foster unwavering faith in the possibility of your desired reality. Even when the physical evidence may not be immediately apparent, it's crucial to maintain a steadfast belief in the inevitability of your dreams coming to fruition. Your brain is an extraordinary instrument with remarkable plasticity, capable of rewiring itself to adopt the profound conviction that your desired outcome has already materialized. By consistently reinforcing this belief, you create a powerful alignment between your inner convictions and the external manifestations you seek. It's akin to programming the subconscious mind to perceive your desired reality as an undeniable truth, laying the groundwork for its eventual manifestation in your physical experience. Now, let's delve into the captivating dynamics of the quantum field. Picture the quantum field as a limitless expanse of potential, where an infinite array of possibilities coexist simultaneously. It's a realm where the boundaries of time and space blur, and the rules of conventional reality cease to apply. When you learn to tap into the intricacies of this field, you open yourself up to a universe brimming with endless opportunities and boundless manifestations. It's about stepping beyond the confines of the familiar, venturing into the uncharted territory of the unknown, and embracing the exhilarating realm of unpredictability. In this space of heightened consciousness, you give yourself permission to explore the uncharted territories of your potential, allowing your awareness to dance harmoniously with the infinite possibilities that the quantum world has to offer. So, how can we practically integrate this profound understanding into our daily lives? It begins with a conscious and deliberate shift in our thoughts and emotions. By cultivating a heightened sense of mindfulness and introspection, we gain the ability to recognize and discern the automatic habits and thought patterns that no longer serve our highest good. This heightened awareness acts as the catalyst for transformation, enabling us to identify the subconscious beliefs and behaviors that have kept us tethered to the limitations of our past experiences. As we shed light on the unconscious aspects of our being, we empower ourselves to break free from the confinements of our past conditioning, paving the way for a remarkable journey of self-discovery and personal evolution. This journey is marked by a conscious commitment to self-growth, a dedication to unlearning old patterns, and a fervent embrace of the endless possibilities that lie within the depths of our consciousness. Mindfulness is a crucial tool in this process. By training your mind to stay present in the moment, you conserve vital energy that can be channeled into creating your desired reality. When you catch your mind wandering into the past or future, gently guide it back to the present. It's in the present moment that you have the power to shape your future. Now let's delve into the vital concept of energy management. Your energy is a precious and finite resource, akin to a currency that holds immense value in the realm of manifestation. It serves as the life force that fuels your creative endeavors and propels you towards the realization of your deepest aspirations. It's imperative to recognize the significance of directing this potent energy towards endeavors that nourish your soul and elevate your consciousness. Rather than dissipating your energy on ruminating over past regrets or anxiously fretting over an uncertain future, redirect it towards nurturing your vision and infusing it with the fiery passion and unwavering enthusiasm that serves as the catalyst for transformation and growth. When you consciously operate from a space of emotional abundance, you give rise to a dynamic, energetic field that acts as a magnetic force, effortlessly drawing abundance and prosperity into your life. This profound shift in your energetic frequency transforms you into a conduit for the very experiences you ardently wish to manifest. By aligning your vibrational frequency with the resonance of your desires, you establish a harmonious connection with the universal flow of abundance and prosperity. It's not about coercing the universe to bend to your will. Rather, it's about synchronizing your energetic frequency with the frequency of your deepest desires, establishing a profound synergy that propels you towards the manifestation of your most cherished dreams. Inner work is the cornerstone of this transformative process. As you continue to rewire your brain and shift your emotional state, you initiate a profound metamorphosis within yourself. You shed the old patterns and limitations, making room for the emergence of a new, empowered self, one that operates from a place of alignment and resonance with the universe. So, my friends, remember, the universe is a vast, interconnected web of energy. By aligning your energy with the frequency of your desires, you become a co-creator of your reality. Don't chase after your dreams. Instead, let them be drawn to you effortlessly. When people can't get up in the morning and they can't get out of bed, I'm going to tell you why. Because they can predict the feeling of everything that's going to happen in their life. And their body's resigned to the familiar and says, oh, another mundane day. But remember when you were a kid and you were going on a field trip, what happened then? You were up and dressed and ready to go before your parents were up. You know why? Because you knew something unexpected was going to happen. That's how we should live our lives. Waking up with the understanding to expect the unexpected. And something unusual should happen in our life as a result of our efforts. And it's just those beginning moments where it begins to happen that we begin to prove to ourselves how powerful we really are. So take time in the morning and the evening and the rest of the day. Check in with yourself at certain times to see if you're still in that energy. And if you're not, excuse yourself for a second, raise your energy, and step back into your life. If you keep doing that over and over again, you'll become less frustrated, less impatient, less judgmental. You'll just become something of the past and you'll be someone else. When you finish a meditation, if you get up feeling the same way as you sat down, nothing really happened. Nothing happened neurologically, biologically, chemically, hormonally, genetically. You're still in the same state of being. But when you get up and you feel like elevated sense of self, your heart is swollen and you have a clear vision of your future and your energy's different. The question is, how long can you maintain that state? So you're literally broadcasting a whole new electromagnetic signature in that state. Thoughts tend to be electric and feelings tend to be magnetic. The way we think and feel is what we broadcast into the field. And what we broadcast into the field is our experimental destiny. So then when you go within and you disconnect from your outer world and you sit your body down and it's no longer experiencing anything and you're not thinking about your schedule, your past, or your future, as I said today, you're being defined by thought and you're making your inner world more real than your outer world. When you open your eyes and you present yourself to the world, the job then is to not react emotionally to the same conditions in your life, because the moment you react emotionally, you're equal to the conditions in your life and you're back in your past. So then when you fall from grace and you move off that state, then you sit down and you realign. You begin to tune in again and you change your energy again. Now, when I'm going through change in my life or I will have a specific outcome that I want to create, I love to get up early in the morning. That's my time. I'm a 4:30 in the morning guy because that's my time. The rest of the day I'm serving, but I love getting up early and changing and working and having some time to myself. And I believe that when I invest in myself, I invest in my future. And that time in my morning, nobody bothers me because that's my time. And because of brain waves and brain chemistry, the door between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind is more open. And so if I get up early and I'm kind of between theta and alpha, I don't have to work as hard. I'm not thinking, I just kind of relax into the moment. In the evening, I always ask myself, how did I do? How was one lifetime in one day? Where did I fall from grace? What happened? And so then when I look at seeing how I reacted to someone or something, or I made the choice that I could have made a better choice, I naturally, we all do this, begin to think, well, if the same situation happened again, how would I do it differently? And that's the act of beginning to come up with a new plan. The act of rehearsing it in your mind begins to install the circuits in your brain, priming your brain so that when the next experience happens, you could modify your behavior to do a better job in life. That's called plasticity. If you decide, okay, if I'm taking time out of my busy life to emulate the divine creator, then if I'm going to create something unlimited, I better feel unlimited. If I'm going to do something magnificent, I have to become magnificent. And if you keep doing that over and over again, it will begin to become more readily available to you. It'll get easier. And so when we're in that energy all the time, that's when the synchronicities and the serendipities and all those wonderful coincidences begin to happen. And it's those coincidences that are feedback in our environment where the field begins to open doors for us. That's what we want to occur. Now, I have worked on things in my life, and I'm a sincere person. I've worked on things in my life for years, and I always thought it was about the event or the experience I wanted to create. But all along, I was changing. And when I finally reached a point where I could care less if I could have the experience, is the moment it happened. But all along, the divine, loving intelligence, this mother-father principle, of course, it's observing us into life. We are vitalistic, energetic beings that when we begin to unify all these principles that we're talking about, you can't get this in one sitting. You can't. You have to keep understanding it, keep reviewing it, keep redoing it, keep experiencing it, and new experience then causes you to dream in a way you would have never dreamt before unless you had that experience. And that's how God gets to know itself. So then, I don't care what meditation you do. I just like the fact that you're connecting. And the more you connect, the more whole you feel, the more natural it becomes. Then, of course, the next experience then causes you to dream in another way. And what I know from my own experience and many students, it's not about material things. It's about those mystical moments, those transcendental moments, those moments where your jaw drops and you are in awe of life. Those moments that take our breath away, that cause us. And this has happened to me so many times. Every time I have one of those experiences, I think to myself, I got this all wrong. I got this all wrong. Some veil has been lifted, and now I'm seeing more clearly about the way things really are. Intention is, you may say, I want a healing, I want a new job, I want a new relationship. Now, the moment you ask the question, the what-if question, what would it be like to be in love? What would it be like to have a new job? What would it be like to be in a new relationship, to do whatever, to be healed? The moment you ask that question, the part of your brain called the frontal lobe, which is the crowning achievement of the human being, 40% of your brain is the frontal lobe. It's the workshop. It's the creative center. Frontal lobe has connections to all other parts of your brain. The moment you ask an open-ended question, you speculate a possibility. The creative center turns on and it looks out over the landscape of the entire brain and begins to call up different networks of neurons that are stored in your brain based on something you've learned intellectually, knowledge, or something you've experienced in your life. Like, well, I know what it is to be in love, or I know what it is to have a good job, or I read a book about it. And it begins to call up these different networks of neurons, and then it seamlessly pieces them together to create a new idea, a new vision. And when you put all those networks together and they fire in tandem, you'll get a clear picture in your mind. And that clear picture is called intention. Now, the more you have conditions or the more you have specifics about that job, like, for example, I want to make this amount of money more a year. I want to have health benefits. I want to have 3 weeks vacation. I want to travel. I want to work with great, unlimited, creative people. That all is the elements that help to add to that vision. Now, the picture you get in your mind could be the word job, or it could be just an image that's personal to you. But the image then represents all of those conditions, so you can have several conditions that make up your intention. But the intention typically is a symbol, like you may see a retreat center that you may want to start and you have a picture of it. But once you see that picture, the next thing that happens, you start to live that dream. The moment you start to take that dream and it turns into a living motion picture, now you're in that imaginary place. What happens is, the moment it starts taking on form and it starts taking on time, you start to experience it. All the things you're going to do, you're actually living in that future. And your brain does not know the difference between the actual event that takes place in your life and what you're imagining in your mind. We call it mental rehearsal in my work. But you're literally rewiring yourself to the future. Now, your brain is no longer a record of the past. It's now, in fact, a map to the future. Now, most people stop at this level, but there's another level. Because once you have that intention, and I watched you do this, what makes the intention have life is when you combine it with that emotion. If you believe that the way you think has some effect on your life and you think the same thoughts every day, 90% of most people think the same thoughts as they did yesterday, would you agree then that if you're not waking up every morning being defined by some vision of your future, then pretty much you are going to be living by the memories of your past and you will be predictable in your life? Yes or no? Because the brain is a record of the past. And so, if you're not creating a new future, is it possible that you believe in your past more than you believe in your future? And is it possible then that many people don't want to create a new future because they're more in love with their past than they are with their future? In fact, they romance their past every single day. So then, is it possible then that that person in the same brain circuitry, in the same emotions of the past, are viewing their life through the lens of the past, and they're not seeing things how they are, they're actually perceiving and seeing things how they are, and they're telling a story in their mind that's actually causing them to perceive life equal to that story? Are you with me still? So then you ask that person, so why are you this way? And they'd say, I'm so glad you asked because I get to talk about my past. And as they talk about the incidents in their past, would you agree then that they're saying that was the event that changed me, and I haven't actually been able to change since that event? That event has defined me as the person I am today. Yes or no? Now, the research on memory says, after a period of time, that story that they tell of their past, 50% of it isn't even the truth. So they're making stuff up. They are reliving a miserable life they never even had, just to reaffirm, to recreate the emotions, to excuse themselves from changing. So then, most people then, they may say with the 5% of their conscious mind, I want a new life, I want a new relationship, I want a new career, or I am healthy. But if 95% of who they are is subconsciously programmed into the past, then that thought of their health, that thought of their wealth is never going to make it to the body because the body is programmed into the past. How many people understand? So then if you teach a person then how to be defined by a vision of the future instead of the memories of the past, then they would have to really start thinking differently. Would you agree? They would have to start making different choices than the choices that they always make. Yes or no? They're going to have to start doing different things and breaking certain habits, and that's going to be uncomfortable. Yes or no? Because the body is going to say, why are we doing this? It's so much more fun suffering than going out for a walk into joy. I don't know if I believe in joy, I believe in suffering. The body goes back. And so that person would have to stop talking certain ways. They would have to start staying away from certain experiences with certain people. You know what I'm talking about. Yes, they would have to examine their emotional state every single day. They'd have to stay conscious of their emotional state because the moment they started feeling suffering, they're just disconnected from the energy of their future. They're back to the energy and the emotions of their past. So then, teaching people then how to be defined by a vision of the future every single day means they're going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be unfamiliar. There's going to be some uncertainty, and you may not be able to predict the next moment because you're no longer feeling like you. That's the moment you just left the known and you stepped into the unknown. Are you with me still? Now, if the body has been conditioned into the familiar past or the predictable future, and the body has become the mind of the past or the predictable future, would you agree then the body would say, what are you doing? And the body would say, listen, let's get you thinking like you've been thinking. 90% of the thoughts that we think on a daily basis are the same thoughts as the day before. So if you think that your thoughts have something to do with your destiny, and 90% of your thoughts are the same known thoughts that you're always thinking, then your life should stay the same, because the same thoughts lead to the same choices. The same choices lead to the same behaviors. The same behaviors create the same experiences. The same experiences produce the same emotions. Those same emotions tend to influence the way we think. And our biology, our neurocircuitry, our neurochemistry, our hormones, and even our gene expression is equal to how we think, how we act, and how we feel. And how you think, how you act, and how you feel is called your personality, and your personality creates your personal reality. That's it. If you want to create a new personal reality, a new life, you're going to have to change your personality. And you've got to start thinking about what you've been thinking about and change it. You've got to become aware of your unconscious habits and behaviors, even how you speak. And you have to look at the emotions that you live by every single day and decide, do these emotions belong in my future? So many people try to create a new life as the same person. In order to create a new personal reality, you've got to change your personality. So the principle in neuroscience says that nerve cells that fire together wire together. Thinking the same way, making the same choices, demonstrating the same actions, creating the same experiences that stamp the same networks of neurons into the same patterns, all for the familiar feeling called you. And you do that for 10 years in a row. Well, you're going to hardwire your brain into a very finite signature because you're firing and wiring that way. And that box in the brain, that becomes our personality, becomes our identity. And by the time we're 35 years old, for the most part, we've done something so many times that the body now knows how to do it as well as the mind. And that's a habit. So we have these unconscious programs of behaviors, automatic habits, redundant emotional reactions, hardwired beliefs, perceptions, attitudes that function just like a computer program. You press go and it runs automatically. When it comes time to change, thinking positively is going to do nothing because your body has been conditioned for the most part into a program in the past. Thought never makes it to the body because the body's on a different program. How do we begin to influence the body so that the thought actually produces some type of change? Think about it. If you think an unhappy thought, you're going to feel unhappy. If you think you're a failure, you're going to feel like a failure. Once you feel like a failure, you're going to think you're a failure. And people get caught in these loops of thinking and feeling and feeling and thinking, and that redundancy is a conditioning process because all you need is an image or a picture or a thought and a feeling and a response, stimulus response. And so people tend to condition their brain and body into the past. When it comes time to change, you've got to leave that familiar territory. And any choice that you make, if you said, hey, I'm going to eat a better diet, I'm going to wake up early and work out, I'm going to do meditation, the moment you decide to do something differently, get ready because it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel unfamiliar. There's going to be some uncertainty. You're not going to be able to predict the next moment. That means you've left your known biology and you're stepping into the unknown. Theoretically, that sounds great, but if the body has been conditioned into a familiar feeling, it's in the known. The moment you take it outside the familiarity, it wants to go back to where it's comfortable. So the body starts influencing the mind, and this is where people say, why don't you start your diet tomorrow? Why don't you start working out this evening? You're really never going to change. Now, intention is a vision, a potential that already exists in the quantum field that you get to select. And when you ask yourself a question like, what would it be like to be healthy? What would it be like to be wealthy? What would it be like to be free or to be in love? The moment you ask that creative question, a part of your brain called the frontal lobe turns on. That's the crowning achievement of the human being. Once that area of the brain turns on, it's like a great symphony leader. It looks out of the landscape of the entire brain and it begins to randomly select different networks of neurons that are connected to the things you've learned in your life or the experiences you've had. And it begins to seamlessly paste them together to create an ideal, a vision, or an internal representation. That is a potential experience that's awaiting you. And it's not enough to just have the mind involved. Thoughts are the language of the brain and feelings are the language of the body. And how you think and how you feel creates a state of being. Once you can begin to emotionally embrace that future reality before it's made manifest, when you combine that clear intention with an elevated emotion, the freedom, the joy, the inspiration, the genuine love that you feel or gratitude from that experience, the moment you do that, your body, as the unconscious mind, begins to believe it's living in that future reality in the present moment. Now you're moving into a new state of being, into a new personality. And a new personality creates a new personal reality. The research that we've done shows that when we teach people how to regulate their internal states, to begin to create more coherence in their brain and to generate elevated emotions like joy and gratitude and inspiration, that not only does the brain become coherent, but so does the heart. And when the brain is coherent, the heart is coherent. When the heart is coherent, the brain is coherent. So why don't we live by these states on a daily basis? Primarily because the majority of the time that we live in our waking state of consciousness, 70% of the time, you and I are living by the hormones of stress. And living in stress is living in survival. And when you're living in survival, the very chemicals of survival cause you to function as materialists, defining your reality with your senses. You pay attention to objects and things and people. You begin to believe that your outer world is more real than your inner world. And the side effect of this, over time, begins to cause us to feel separate from possibility. Why? Because when you're threatened by some predator or some danger in your life, it's not a time to go in. It's not a time to trust the unknown. It's not a time to open your heart and feel love. It's not a time to communicate. It's not a time to create. It's not a time to learn. It's a time to survive. So then, in order for us to create, we have to lay down the very thing we used our whole life to get what we want for something greater to occur. And most importantly, we want you to understand when you're in the creative state and when you're not. And if you were to take a little time every day and apply some of the principles in changing beliefs and perceptions about yourself and your life, and what is a belief other than a thought you keep thinking over and over again? And all beliefs are based on past experiences, and in order for you to change a belief or perception about yourself and your life, you have to make a decision with such firm intention that the amplitude of that decision carries a level of energy that's greater than the hardwired programs in your brain and the emotional conditioning in your body. And your body literally has to respond to a new mind. And when the choice becomes an experience that you never forget, that's the moment the past biologically no longer exists in you. People use the word victim so much, and I don't really think we spend a lot of time really unraveling the idea.